Hello everyone. Recently, Jess and I celebrated our 11th anniversary and we treated ourselves to a trip to Hong Kong. We want to share some of that parts of the trip with you guys.
We have been talking about this for a while, and one thing's good about going out of the Philippines is that when we come back, Mark will be able to have a balikbayan visa, which came from me. A balikbayan means a returning Filipino citizen, and that is me. And because I've returned back to the Philippines, Mark will be able to have a 1-year free, visa-free. And that will be very good.
Yeah, very nice. Not to worry about tourist visas every 2 months.
Yes.
Well, I was really apprehensive about going to Hong Kong. It is a communist country, and I was afraid that I might do something wrong and end up in jail. And who knows how long I'd be stuck there. But Jess wanted to go shopping, and she's hard to deny an opportunity to shop on her anniversary. So we're going to roll the video and talk about what we saw as we went, and hopefully entertain you guys with all the sights that we saw. Right?
Let's start.
So our flight left at 5:55 from Mactan International, and but we needed to make sure that we got our ECC, which we did beforehand, and there's a video on the channel about that. And what you see there is a receipt for the taxes we had to pay, which was 3,240 pesos, about $57 US. If you stay longer than 1 year in the Philippines, you got to pay taxes to leave. So we settled that account, we grabbed a bite to eat, and we sat waiting at the gate for our flight. Finally, we're on our flight, and 3 hours later, we arrived at the airport in Hong Kong. Hong Kong airport is a huge airport, very modern and clean. Still, it took us about 20 minutes after we landed to get to our exit gate. We didn't have any check-in baggage because Jess is an excellent packer.
And besides, we have to pay for check-in baggage. We
So
don't want to
saved-
do that.
We saved a lot of money. We finally found the taxi stand. There was an attendant there who worked with us and the driver to make sure everybody understood what was going on. And we got to our hotel after about 35 minutes. It cost us 300 Hong Kong dollars to go from the airport to our hotel. We gave him a tip. It wasn't that much, but we gave him a good tip. Our hotel was Hotel Ease. It's 22 stories tall, and you've seen a hallway picture there. It's about that long. We were on the 9th floor. The room was very small. The toilet was right opposite the door as you go in. And as you come in, the king-size bed was off to the left, which filled up all the space in the room. Still, it was clean and comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
It cost us 300 Hong Kong dollars to ride the cab from to the hotel, and we had 200 Hong Kong dollars left to start our day tomorrow. We really had no idea if that was enough.
Yes.
We don't know what it was worth. So Jess wanted to get an Octopus card to travel the subway, but for me, there's a lot of unknowns. I had downloaded the Uber app to use, so we decided to sleep on that and start fresh in the morning. It was almost midnight by the time we wrapped up our day.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's watch for a minute. We came out of our hotel room, a dangerous prospect. We're looking for some food. Everything was really strange. They drive on the wrong side of the road. There's Jess outside the plaza where the subway station was. And she's trying to figure out how to cross the street.
I'm giving a tiny lesson here. They're British, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful when you cross because you might be looking the wrong way and get whacked.
Anyway, there's always a sign there.
And we're on
Look
the way.
right.
We're on the way to the subway station to pick up some breakfast.
Yes.
We got us some breakfast and decided to use Uber to go to Mongkok, a well-known shopping area that Jess wanted to practice her shopping skills in. Very strange sight, as you can tell. But some familiar one too. There's that guy in the ambulance. As we walked around, we found a mall. It's called Langley Place, but it didn't open completely until 11, a little early.
Yeah, it seems like Hong Kong becomes hustle bustle at 11.
11 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah.
That big building there, we're not sure what it is. I think it's part of Langham Mall. And there was some strange buildings also, some very tall, unusual looking buildings. We got into the mall and just wandered around a while. All right, come on. There were people walking around, stores that were open.
Right. And there were high-end stores, and there were regular stores, and you can go out of this big mall, and you just walk on the street, and there's again merchandise.
But even though this is a mall, we only found this mall and one other mall. Just 2 malls in all the areas we checked.
Yes.
There was tons of little shops in between the businesses and in the office buildings. It's a really strange setup.
And this is the first time I've seen a Marks and Spencer grocery store.
Yeah.
It's not found here in the Philippines.
But we did find some chocolate. The Andes mints were 28 bucks Hong Kong, and the Lindt chocolate was $52 Hong Kong, which is almost at $7.50 US. It's very expensive for chocolate in there. We didn't buy those.
Right.
We bought some
so
other.
how much again is the money conversion?
It's 7.8 Hong Kong dollars per US, or 7 pesos, I think, to 1 Hong Kong dollar. I'm not exactly sure about the pesos.
So our US dollar is still king.
Yeah, yeah, but only got 7, not 57, like it is for pesos. They had wonderful seafood there. You just saw. They have cakes. The cakes were works of art.
Oh yeah, look at
Yeah.
those cakes. I wonder why Hong Kong people are slim when they have lots of pastries there. Like I can eat all of those things. Look at how lovely that is.
I thought if I was a kid, I'd love to have a lot of those little animals that have battles with them, and then end up eating the prisoners of war.
Yeah, look at that.
That was some sight.
Yes.
But it was very delicious looking food. So, and we were going really looking for the women's market now. We're still wandering around Langham Market, Langham Place.
Right. Well, we wait for 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
I Googled a lot, because I want to know where's the shopping for women's, where are the dresses, where are the shoes. Because in fact, they have what you call as the sneaker street.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Well, look at these dwellings here.
Yeah, this is where they live, in these buildings, and they also, that's the first time I saw hanging clothes
Clothes.
out the sides.
Yes.
Reminded me of the Philippines.
Okay, that's me trying on some shoes. I was not able to fit on those shoes, regular shoes for adults, old people like me. So I have to go to the kids' shoes. And the sales girl was horrified and she was like, "Those are kids." I said, "Yeah, but my feet is a kid fit."
Yeah, and she got some really nice shoes for a lot less because
Right.
they're child shoes. So here we are in the market.
Yeah, I enjoy this market a lot because although they have a price for each merchandise, you can bargain. And I really do bargain, And I told Mark that we're not going back to that place because they might kill me.
She was very tough. I don't think any of the salespeople were happy with her when she left, even though they made a few Hong Kong dollars. I remember one item she got was supposed to be 280 Hong Kong dollars. She got it for 100.
100.
It's like, that lady was not happy.
She was not happy.
Yeah,
but we just walk off. We don't come back there.
After we got it.
Yeah.
So they have all kinds of merchandise in the women's market, and Jess was in her element as
I
she
was.
wandered back and forth,
Oh, yeah, I
looking at the
was.
stuff. And
I was in business, And then there's a lovely store which is called what is In and Out.
no, not that one. That's tomorrow. That's the
Oh.
next day.
Okay.
But you see how neat and clean the shops are, and the doors are open to the outside, but every shop has air conditioning. It was lunchtime.
Oh,
Guess
McDonald's.
Guess where we ate? Yep. Okay. So after lunch at McDonald's, we looked around a few more shops, and then took an Uber back to the hotel, where we napped till about 5 o'clock. We decided to go around the hotel and see what's there. Maybe we could find something to eat. We did find a cab stand next to a propane gas station, which was kind of interesting. We never did use the cabs, but it was right close to the hotel. There were several 7-Elevens. They seemed to be everywhere, like the McDonald's. But we wanted something normal for dinner. So above the train station were some shops and offices. Again, it's a strange situation as you have office building with retail outlets in office buildings.
Right.
Yeah, including restaurants. Okay, as we're going into the office building, there are many people coming out. Obviously, it was the end of the day for them. We had no idea what kind of work they did. I wonder what they were doing in those buildings. I mean, maybe they were even working in some of the retail shops. Obviously, that young lady sweeping up, she had a job. All these people are going the wrong way. We came to a restaurant finally called Boogie's. It looked like there might be something to eat there. We were checking out the menu on the outside. Jess had some kind of soup stuff that she ordered.
Yeah, I look at the menu and I don't understand anything. But there's a picture of the food in the bowl. So I said, I want this. And that's what I got.
Yeah, well, she got that with some different stuff in it. So lovely restaurant. Everything was orderly and neat, clean. And I ordered beef with cheeses and noodles.
That's my food. I
That's
got
just-
excited with that.
And that's my spaghetti. It didn't say spaghetti, it was beef and cheeses with noodles. Very good. So after dinner, we went back to the hotel. and talked about how we're going to get around the next day. We did have a few dollars left. We could use Uber, but Jess really wanted to try out the Octopus card.
Yeah, because it's everything there in Hong
You
Kong.
can use it for everything. Now as we walked around yesterday, we had talked to the people at 7-Eleven and the train station, and found out the way it works is you got to put a 50 Hong Kong dollar deposit on it, which you can get it refunded later if you want.
Yes.
And then you have to add to that, and then as you scan it, it deducts until it gets to the $50, and you have to
Deposit.
add more again. So you can use that for everything, and it's great for the subway. So we decided the next day we'd give that a shot. We'd give it a try, because we wanted to go to Causeway Bay so Jess could practice her shopping some more.
Yes.
Okay, guys, so what you're looking at here is two old people trying to figure out how to use this subway. It's been a long time since I even thought about a subway. In fact, I can't remember the last time I was on a subway. So we were at Hua Hing, as you see there. We had to take the red line all the way to Admiralty and then hop on to the blue line, which would take us the rest of the way to Causeway. So we scanned our cards and got in, and then we waited for our train.
They have a very lovely train station. It has like a barricade, you know?
Nobody's getting pushed into the tracks.
Exactly. Not like New York.
No, you're in pretty good shape there, and
Yes.
it's very clean and very well lit. In fact, well, I'm sure there was some underground stations, but this station was above ground, so
Right. There's no homeless there.
no homeless, no
Sleeping.
dirt, no litter, no beggars. I mean, it's really strange. Here comes our train. The very long train. And when we got in, there was lots of room.
Yes.
All the seats were taken, but that wasn't a real problem.
Yeah, but it's easy just to stand, you know?
So
Hold
there
on
we
to
are in the train.
railings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as the train moved, there's our red track. It meets up with the gold track,
Yes.
which if you want to, you can go to the airport that way. We're not going there yet. And goes all the way to the Admiralty, where we switch over to the blue line. So it was really interesting to see how that worked, and it was really clear how it worked. So we were not worried about missing our stop or any problems.
Right. And I noticed the people there, especially the younger generation, they're very stylish, baby.
Yeah, they wear very nice clothes.
They were very
Yeah.
nice. Not the sweatpants. Okay.
Well, they know what they're
nice
doing.
clothes. Yeah.
So here we are changing over to the blue line. So it's very orderly. The people get off. There's a very pretty woman waiting to get on.
I don't know who she is.
And very smooth rides. When you're in the train and the train starts to move, it gets very windy in there.
Yeah, it seems like the wind, they put it inside the train.
Yeah, they must open up the two ends there. Coming out of the subway. Look at this mess.
All right, this is Causeway Bay.
And here we are coming out of the subway station. What a view, huh? That's
Yeah.
something else. There's another street market.
Yeah. Yeah.
And here we were here for a while. We wandered around.
Yeah, because again, it's 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
It
we were too
opens.
early again.
Yeah, we're too early again because we're too eager old
But
people.
there's a shop right next to the subway.
Right, right.
I mean, you come out of the subway and the shops are right there.
Yeah, but there are regular stores already which are open.
Yeah.
But the street market is not yet.
Jeff is heading
Not
in.
fully.
She's going in, guys. Watch out, dealers.
There I am. Yeah. But there was this guy which later on we're gonna mention it to him. But I found out that Causeway Bay is cheaper than Mongkok.
Oh, really? That's what he told you?
Yeah. No, I look at the tag of their clothes, you
Oh.
know?
Oh.
The dresses, yes.
Hmm. We did find a produce market, but that wasn't any good for us.
Yeah, we don't have
It
anywhere
was
to
well
put
open and it's got all kinds of stuff in it. Now here's your In and Out.
it. Yeah, it's a
but
regular
it's
store.
not burgers. It's a clothing store.
It's a clothing store.
And see how the opening is wide open in the beginning, and there's still air conditioning. It's amazing. They still don't care about spending the money, I guess.
Yeah, because Hong Kong is very hot.
It is hot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the weather is like in the Philippines.
Yeah, well, you see that in the Philippines. Oh, look, a Jollibee.
Jollibee, yeah. No, we did not eat there because Mark is very loyal to McDonald's.
Well, I am familiar with McDonald's. You want to get across the road, you can take this walk over, and there's a trolley you can ride on. We didn't do that.
Yeah.
Really advanced kind of situation. Ah, It's the mecca for shoppers.
Oh yeah, that's the H&M. Well, I love it, you know.
Yeah.
It has more merchandise than we have here in the Philippines, you know.
A better selection.
Better selection.
So guys, you want to see sights and sounds of Hong Kong, you're going to see sights and sounds of the stores of Hong Kong with
Yeah.
Jess.
Yeah, I get so
She-
excited.
She had a
with
great time shopping here, spent the most time here, I think, more than the women's market, more
Yeah.
than the street.
Yeah,
the
I
shoe
like it
street.
when Mark said, or he don't even say it, that I can shop. Yeah. It's not every day.
See, everything is modern.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very, very nice place to be. That's a welcome store. It's actually a grocery store.
Grocery
We'll check it
store.
out a little later. Further down, you can see that blue sign. It's Decathlon. That's where I found a pair of shoes. It's really
Yeah.
nice. We don't show you that.
Because of that nice guy who taught us in the street market that, oh, you go to this place.
Nice guy said, go here. He
Yeah.
understood English. And here's the second mall we found. It's called Windsor House. It's just 5 or 6 stories. I can't even tell how many
Yeah,
stories it
Windsor
was.
is British, baby.
Windsor House.
Yep.
And it's got all kinds of stuff in there, guys. You can just shop until your feet wore off.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
it never
remember if we
happens
bought
to us.
anything I don't know if we bought anything for them, from them. But Jess certainly enjoyed shopping around.
Did I just wear my new shoes there?
I'm not sure. You
I
guys
think
want to
I
buy
did.
some Michigan merchandise? It's hanging up in the shop in Hong Kong. We
Yeah.
found a park,
Yeah.
very nice park.
Yeah, a park within the city.
Yeah, they're all over the place. Honestly, guys, this one has more to it. But we just sat on the bench for a while.
Yeah,
It's
just,
called Victoria Park.
yes.
It
Just
has
to rest for a while.
It has tennis courts, has a ping pong area, it has walking trails and jogging trails, lovely fountain in the middle. There's your sign.
Yeah.
But
There are
we-
even people who bring their mat, you
Yeah,
know,
they're-
and they can lay down
Well,
there.
you'll see that when we're
Yeah.
sitting down on the bench. But there's a big tree there, huge tree with Spanish moss on it.
Yeah.
See the guy down the way, he's laying on the ground.
So by the way, we brought along our bag, our shopping bag, because
Yeah.
Hong Kong don't give free.
Oh yeah.
They
That's an
don't give
important
free
thing to mention.
bags. No, they
Costs you
don't.
$1 Hong Kong dollar.
Yeah, it
Here's
costs-
the inside of the welcome store. It's a basic grocery store, but it's packed with people. It must have been the right time of day for shopping for them.
Yes.
We were just going to pick up some bread, some snacks for tomorrow's coffee, because the hotel doesn't provide coffee, although it does have a water heater in there.
Right.
Yeah.
But when we went to the checkout, it's a long line.
Well, so we didn't buy anything from
We didn't
there.
buy anything.
We hopped back on the subway. Look how packed that thing is.
Oh yeah.
And if you watch the girl's hair, when it starts going,
Yeah,
you see
look at
that her
that.
hair moving?
Yeah, yeah.
There's quite a breeze inside there. So I wonder if they have it open at both ends.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah. Packed full of people. Back to the hotel we went. We decided to stay in after all the walking we had done and just snack on what we had picked up when we got back to the subway. There was a 7-Eleven and a bakery store there. So we picked up a couple pieces of bread, decided we'd eat that in the evening, and tomorrow Jess wanted to go to more shopping. Imagine that. Argyle.
Argyle.
So we were going to take the subway again to get us to the Argyle spot, which is really close to Mongkok, actually. But when we were out there, we were too early.
Again.
Nothing's open. We're finally figuring this out, right? So now what are we going to do? We only have really the morning. When we go back, we're going to have to get our stuff together and think about heading back to the airport.
Yeah, because it's time to check out.
Which really made us sad to think about it. But one of those double-decker buses went by, so we said, why not?
Yeah, let's hop in. Yeah, that's the shirt I wore.
So here we are on the double-decker bus. This is a pretty long passage here. Just kind of want to have you guys watch, maybe make a few comments here or there. We're in the very front seat on the very top of the bus. Now these are English things, but I guess they kept them after the Chinese took over. Very economical for driving, get more people in there. And very smooth. The roads here are amazingly clean and accessible. I mean,
And the drivers in this double-decker bus, they are really excellent with their driving skills. Like, wow, how do you maneuver that sucker?
so there's over 7 million people in Hong Kong. It's spaced out over a small area, about 1,100 square kilometers. I mean, it's amazing how well organized everything is. Everything's neat. We did not see one traffic jam.
No.
No. But
And even if we don't see any traffic enforcer or
Yeah.
somebody manning the traffic, we
Yeah.
don't see any of those things.
we did see one guy, a pedestrian was crossing when he shouldn't have. The guy called him back. I thought the guy was going to go to jail.
Right.
The guy said, "You go back over here. Not time to walk." He was jaywalking,
Yeah.
even though he was in the crosswalk. But as you can see, there are tall buildings everywhere. Every building tries to get the most out of whatever little land it's on.
Yeah. So you remember that guy that told us about
cab driver.
how much is it for an apartment there?
Yep.
So it costs from 3,000 Hong Kong dollars to 10,000 Hong Kong dollars
To 20,000.
to 20,000.
So the 3,000 one he told us was for like government
Yeah.
places,
Really for the poor.
and the 10,000 Hong Kong dollars were for the older buildings. You could get a place for 10,000, which you might be able to afford. Still, that'd be a pretty tight thing.
Right.
And if you really want something decent to live in, you're going to spend 20,000 a month. I don't know how much these things are on the outskirts. You can see things are starting to open up a little bit, even though the buildings are still there, but they're not all packed on top of each other. So we're getting closer to the edges of the city, I think. Over there on the left, you might have seen those cranes. That was the port area
Right.
where all the container things are. We're heading towards the airport, although honestly, I didn't know that at the time.
Right. We were just hopping in the double decker. Like, okay.
See, where is this thing going to go? It was quite interesting. The buildings all had names on them. Look at those buildings. And they still had, here you can tell it's more open because they actually have some greenery, which is not normal when they're trying to use all your space.
And here is the port.
There's
Look
the
at the
port,
port.
yeah, with
It's
the buildings
busy.
in the background.
Yep.
It's like, I don't see much recreational boating going on. But it's very beautiful. I mean, that's very beautiful. They're using their space very wisely. Again, there is no trash.
No trash.
The
Not
water
even
looks clean.
a tiny piece of
It may
paper.
not be, but it looks clean. I don't know how they handle all the waste with all those people. We have arrived. We don't know where we are.
We don't know where is that bus station, but we were there.
So
We tried to figure out what bus are we going to ride back.
we figured out how to get back with some help from a local, told us what number to get on, and here we are back at Argyle, but it's too late to do any shopping. We need to get back to the hotel. But before we get back to the hotel, we checked out this scaffolding, because honestly, why would you have bamboo scaffolding in such an upscale city?
Right.
Well, look at
It's
that.
a Very modernized city.
That's all bamboo. Anytime we saw scaffolding, it was bamboo. So, after checking out the scaffolding, we headed back to the hotel on an Uber and stayed in at night. We didn't go anywhere that night.
Yeah, we missed the nightlife.
Yeah, we didn't see any nightlife. I'm sorry, guys, we can't help you with that. But we did talk about what we're going to do. Jess was packing things up, getting ready for us to leave. So the next morning, when we woke up, we decided to go around and see what was around the hotel again, looking for a place to perhaps have lunch. We found a Karen Derrier and a place called Toby's. And Toby's was all Chinese. I had to use my Google Translate to understand what was for sale. We managed to pick 2 items off the menu. Jess got whatever she got there, and I got spaghetti and steak. That's a steak, guys. Not sure. The whole bill came up to $21. Toby's was a little hole-in-the-wall restaurant, packed full of people. It was busy. It was an industrial area where we were eating, so all these guys are workers or young people doing stuff, and just having a great time eating lunch. So wherever you were sitting, somebody was going to sit next to you.
Yeah. Don't be surprised if somebody stranger will sit
If
beside
you're in
you.
a table for 4 and you're only 2 like we were, you'll have company.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's normal there.
Yeah, but they don't say anything. They just
Yeah.
eat their lunch.
They just do what they do, and we do what we do.
After Toby's, we went back to the hotel, and here we are outside the hotel waiting for our Uber. Will take us to the airport with a smooth flight home and a smooth cab ride back to our house. So we hope that you guys enjoyed that. If you're new and still watching this at this point, we hope you enjoyed that and would consider subscribing. And if you're one of our usual old timers, we can't express to you guys how much we appreciate you. We love you guys. We appreciate you watching and your comments, everything you're doing there. So, as usual,
Please like and comment. And if you are new and you like our video, please subscribe. Bye for now.
and we'll see you on the next one.